Hey there. So the point of this video is to test for me so that I can give you ideas on how to do stuff that's good for you. It's can I see seals on a beach in the UK? That was my question this summer. And the good answer is yes, I could, because you can see pictures there. Okay. So you're going to see in this video some of the pictures that I took because I want to inspire you to get out and see stuff and do things that you never thought you could do, because that's what this summer has been about for me, because that is my way to health. I'm interested in lifestyle education because, well, what I found is nobody seems to know how they work. And I'm thinking, well, I always thought the best way really was to educate and say, well, actually, you're more complicated than everyone will tell you, because all these people trying to tell you what to do for health don't know as much as they should do. And that's a big claim. So, well, yeah, so there's a lot I will back up over time, but it also puts people to sleep. So keep you awake. I'm more interested in saying, do you know what, the first year what I'm doing is showing people how to do it. Okay. Ask me questions if you want about why is this good for your health? What's this on? Why is this useful for you? Because just watching a seal there is meditating on it. All these things are practical. So it's easier to say, you already know what you need to do. And we already know essentially what we need to do, but we don't do it. So this is me showing you that I did it. And I took my kids there with me. And I have a new EV with barely any range. Well, it's 150 miles, but it's not huge. So it's that normal challenge, that whole worry everyone's got. Yeah. All these challenges, you'll have your own, but they stop you doing the good stuff, don't they? So this was me just saying, do you know what? I want to go and see this stuff and go do this stuff. So I'm going to let you see some of this. This is a temptation. This is an idea of what's coming up. All right. So it's a seal just swimming. There you go. So there's more. Okay. But the reason I'll just cue something up, but I'm new to this recording, all this producing stuff. I'm an engineer. I'm not all the front end guy. I'm in a proper rush. So, I'm not going to rush to show you everything. I'm just figuring out these tools. I'm just recording this all in one shot. So apologies that it's not all perfect. But if I struggle to do perfect, well, it's taken me 4 months to even get this video out. That's how long stuff takes. If you're a parent, you'll know how long it takes for you to do anything too, because it's just the tech getting in the way. The point here then is that I did it and I took those photos. So that's to point out there is something behind what I'm saying here. And all it was I wanted during the summer to go and have a summer rather than obsess on this hobby that I'm doing and not live, because I'm from a workaholic family where we often just work and don't really live our lives. And that's bad for you. So I'm finding it works best if I go out and I overcome my fears and there's my worries. So with the new car, it was the range anxiety. There was the, can I charge? What can I do? Then you take kids out. They're past needing a wee all the time. They're older now. They're 9, they're 13. But, it's just different dramas, isn't it? So this was, how can I enjoy a day? Also, there was a budget thing. We ain't got much money, and a lot of people are in that situation. So I'd been hearing for years that you could see seals and dolphins and all sorts of things across the British coastline. But I never managed to. We looked at it. It would always cost too much, or it was booked up. You couldn't do it. So this was an opportunity to just prove it. And we'd already done Hunstanton years ago, 2 or 3 years ago or whatever, with my boy. Actually, it was 5 years or something like that. But anyway, we'd done Hunstanton and Blakeney. And it was good, but it was a hassle because you've got a beach in one place and you've got to book your time at Blakeney to go see seals, and you're a bit of a distance from them. It was brilliant. But this was an opportunity to do it all in one place, be on the beach. So the kids are happy on the beach, go find the seals. I did that. And then take the kids to the seals. They saw it and it was brilliant. So I got to achieve it all in one place. And one thing I do, I'm not the only one, I think that you do it, is I often choose to do something new not all the time, but often something new, because it will teach me something. Because if I don't want to do it again, I don't have to. But if you frame it in a way where you're not going to lose everything. So here it was one day. The weather was good. I could afford it. And I'd done a recce between Hunstanton and across to Blakeney to Cromer. So I'd already done that. And I thought, well, I've been here. I already know that that can work. So that's a good backup plan. But this, could I do it? And what this opened up, coming to Horsey Gap, was I could drive all the way there. It's a fair way, 2 hours and all sorts of stuff. And I drove back in the same day. So it's a bit of a way. Americans will say that's nothing, but to the British, that's quite a bit. With the charging stops and stuff, had to plan it. But I also went to Lakenheath. So there's a video of it just before. And what's not so obvious in that video was that I was driving to Lakenheath, then going to Horsey Gap, then coming all the way back home afterwards. Now, that's something actually people do quite regularly. Not necessarily the hugest thing in the world, essentially. But it's nice to remind ourselves of what we're actually capable of. And because at that time of the year, it's light for so long, it made it all so much easier. It was warm. It's lovely. The car, actually perfectly fine. Once you plan it, it's just fine, because you have to plan and just think, do you know what? It'll take a while. You know, there's all this extra stuff. It'll be tiring, but it'll be worth it. You know, like get yourself in holiday mode. And I got to achieve my dreams. It's the first time the kids on there had seen planes fly. And from now on, they love it. For the rest of their lives, they will love it. Both of them loved it. It was wow. It was amazing. And it's free to just turn up and watch. I was like, wow. So that was before we even got here. So that was an hour and a half or something from where we are. And then it's another hour. I think it's actually 3 hours to this. Yeah. So it was fitting things in. There's charging right next to Lakenheath. Cheap, fast charging because it was Tesla. Perfect. That's rare. It all just fits together. So you know, like you do your recce, you figure it out and you go, do you know what? This is what's going to be possible today and this is what we're going to go and do. So without that waffle, there is a bit of a background that I recorded at the place to tell you why you should go and do it. But now I'll just let you see some more of these beautiful videos of these. So this is the beach. Okay. Just a little summary of what the beach actually looks like. You can hear the seals just faintly, but you can hear them. They're kind of moaning. It's really funny. So I'm not saying lots in the middle of it because when I tested before, I found, let's see, that's going to come up and it doesn't seem to want to come up and then come up paused. There we go. It's fapping. It doesn't want to. Yeah, I found the audio got weird if I talked over it and whatever. So this is Riverside. I'm figuring it out. We'll get it done. Okay. But this is easier and I can just get it all done in one take and just say it and move on. Okay. And then you can just fast forward through the bits you need. So this is the seals on the beach. And I was right there. Everyone was staying back, giving them space, but they're just being there because they're, wild animals. And I feel they're probably a bit nervous seeing all these people around. So we all just stood back, just watched. It's gorgeous. So I'm just letting you see it really. And I want you to hear and feel it because I want to inspire you to go and see things for yourself, whatever's near you. This is what I did by saying, what can I go do? And dealt with the money, figured it out, planned, budgeted, all that kind of stuff. But these kind of trips, because I just drove there, in an EV, it was a bit cheaper. I could do a lot of it on very cheap fuel prices, but it doesn't really matter. I'd have done it in my old diesel. It was something I could do within the day. And I trained for this kind of stuff. So when I talk about, say, using holidays as ways to get healthy, it's because you will do this. Something you want to do, some of your hobbies, you'll do them. Things you love are what you'll actually do. That's the point of all this, okay? So let's have a watch. Beautiful. Isn't that just absolutely amazing? Here's another one of them playing in the sea. Oh, I'm loving this new camera I have because I can really zoom in, which I didn't used to be able to do, which meant that I didn't have to bother them. I could really stand back and get good photos without thinking about bothering them in any way. It's stunning. I mean, it's very similar to being at Blakeney. It's just with Blakeney, you have to pay for it. You have to queue up. You got to get your time right. And I know I was concerned about missing it, because it's a long way to go and you could suddenly miss for any reasons. Whereas this, if they were there, great. I did a lot of walking to find them. Long way I had to walk to find them and all sorts. But yeah, you figure these things out. And that's really where the health comes from behind it, is all these other things that you're doing, because that many miles in a car obviously isn't necessarily good for you. But it's the whole experience. But this is showing that, well, that's just commuting. So I'm also going to show you what it's like out there, like behind the dunes, because it's actually all around. For me, it's where is the Upper Leaden Nature Reserve, and it's gorgeous. It's another one from behind the dunes, just showing you a different angle, but you can walk around that a little bit. Or I did. Well, that's showing you it's its nature. Yeah, I just went, I got out, I saw everything in nature. I think I've shown you, all I wanted to show. Fantastic. So the point really is to get out and enjoy life. And don't think that because you're a parent or because of money or whatever, you can't do things, because I've got so many regrets, So it is about dealing with the mofo, FOMO, fear of missing out, because I missed out on so much in life, but who hasn't? We all do in some way and whatever. So I was working through a lot of this as well. So what I do is I just take a day off. And I do work at a place where they'll let you just randomly have a day off here and there, like quite easy without having to book it up. Just go do it. I do that on purpose because I'm more interested in spending time with my family. So I like work that balances that. So we all make our choices. And this was just a way to say, live your life first and figure out a way to make that healthy. If you do that, you'll keep doing it for the rest of your life. And then all you do is little bits over time, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever it is, or when you're in that space, just add something to it. So every time you learn a new skill, a new thing like this, like later on when I take the kids to see dolphins and we see the Mac Loop. Yeah, it's the same as we did Lake and Heath here. We saw nature and we saw human made nature. So like birds that are mechanical birds. This is like stuff that goes in the sea. Because I know the background of aviation, it actually comes from naval stuff. So they're very similar, and so stuff that swims in the sea is very designed in a very similar way to stuff that flies. You want to think about it. Some people will realize what I'm saying. Other people, they'll be surprised. It all links, and it's a nice way to link your life. But this was a holiday, wasn't it? That clearly we just went and had fun. You haven't seen the kids in there. I'm not in a rush. Because they were in all their beach stuff or whatever. So I just wanted to focus on the seals because that's really what it was about. They weren't as fussed as me because they're too young and they were tired. They just wanted to play on the beach. It's fine. They were quite happy until they got really close to a seal and they got to enjoy it. But you have to make sure since these are wild animals, you've got to have that attitude, that you keep separate from them or whatever. But I got to see it. I did it. I had a dream. I went out and I made it happen. And this was the best thing for my health that day. And over the summer, I did things like this each week. Yeah, sometimes I was away for 4 days or something like that. Couldn't afford to do much. If I had more money, I could go for longer. I could take them further. I could do these things. But You're in the same boat as me, I bet. You're like, you've got the time you've got. I'd rather just enjoy that time. And also, going for short periods meant actually it's easy then to keep on projects at work. You know, I didn't have to take lots of time off. I could just carry on. I could have a day's rest afterwards because it's tiring. And I went and did it. So it's all about having balance, respecting nature, enjoying nature, and getting out. So I just want you to think about what would be amazing for you. What dreams do you have? And how do you achieve them? Because that's really what makes us live and get on with life, is chasing our dreams, having a great time. So I'm going to have a quick check of my notes to see if there was anything I needed to say, because I don't think there was. Have a great time. Have a great day. Tell me what you're going to do. What I want to know is, what do you want to do? What dreams do you have in life? What kind of things? What's in your way? Because you could be doing things like this. I bet you already do. And you'll be planning holidays this year. Well, plan them. Tell me about where you're going, what you're doing, things like that. And we can talk about how that's good for you in the first place. So your holiday can actually be something that's already good for you and brilliant. Because all I do is, you'll see this series is all about going out and having fun. That is really good for your health. And I'll show you why. And you can adjust what you do in your holiday to do more of the fun stuff, like swimming with dolphins or whatever it is you might want to do. But we all had different things. I just want to watch planes. No one would think that's got anything to do with health. So that's complete opposite to going on the beach. But that means you can accommodate all the people in the family and in your group and your needs and their needs and all that kind of stuff, because that's sustainable and practical and it'll work. That's actually how we've always done things. So, yeah, tell me those things that are interested, because then I can lean into being a PE teacher and a gym instructor, all those things which I've done and I'm trained for, where you are setting up and creating a life that sustains you. And you can start to see that your everyday life builds in to then going doing trips and then doing longer trips, which are holidays. This is how breaking it down from small little things to bigger to the biggest. Yeah. Very simple, very straightforward, and blooming obvious. Okay. So go out and have some fun and tell me the kind of fun you want to do and see if we can work together. You know, because there'll be a ton of stuff you can tell me how to improve these videos and whatever, because there'll be people who are way better than me at this. I'm a techie guy. I'm an engineer. I know I do the web and stuff, but I'm not a video guy. V&A, sound and vision, two different areas. I work with some of that. But, you know, there's loads of presenter. You know, I do bits of presenter, but nothing special. So all sorts of tips on how to make this better would be helpful. But how can I help you? How can I serve you? Okay, guys. I will see you in the next one. Been a pleasure. Bye.